TJ, you talked yesterday about the importance of getting out to a fast start and setting the tone early on. Just how would you grade the first 5-10 minutes of the game, especially on defense?
Yeah, I thought our guys did a great job starting the game. We were up 20-5. They had one made field goal, and it was on a switch where we didn't, get out as aggressively as we needed to. I thought our guys came out with great focus from that vantage point and got out to the start we needed to get out to. So I think that was one of the big positives for us was how we started the game.
And I know it didn't lead to a turnover, but how much did Taman's opening play of the game set the tone for the defense?
No, it was a big play, and obviously unfortunate that it ended up in them at the foul line, but Taman makes so many of those elite effort plays and just showing his teammates, I'm going to sprint the floor, I'm going to get on the floor, exactly what you said. That does set the tone for your defense, and Taman does a terrific job of that.
And then last one from me, obviously in a perfect world you'd probably have both, but do you view it as maybe more important to set the tone on defense as opposed to just making a lot of shots early in a game?
I think both are important. I don't know that one's more than the other. Over time we've probably leaned a little bit more certainly into the defense and controllables that we have in terms of ball pressure, and I felt like when you're aggressive defensively, it sets a tone to be aggressive offensively. So the ball pressure and the rotations that we had early are going to put you in great position on the other end to be in that same rhythm. I don't think there's such a thing as being in a great defensive rhythm and that not leading to an offensive rhythm. So if we focus defensively, guard the ball, and get in that rhythm, it'll carry over to that aggressiveness offensively.
Nate's had some of his best offensive games lately. Seems like the aggressiveness is there with him. Has it been hard to coax that out of him a little bit, as committed as he is to the defensive end and adapting to a different role this season?
Well, for him, I'd say, he's somebody that plays hard, competitive. I feel like, if he just stays in his space of, hey, when I'm open, I'm going to shoot it. If I have an angle, I'm going to drive it. If I'm guarded, I'm going to pass it. And I think he's doing that more. So he's not getting as caught up in the, overthinking it and deciding that. And I'll always believe, like, there's certain things when we get an offensive rebound or when we move on penetration and you're communicating with some bass in your voice that I'm pulling because I'm open, or when we're trying to get a dagger on the offensive glass. And he was very, he was very good verbally, making sure guys knew, hey, I'm open, I'm ready to knock this down, find me, and then thought he had a really aggressive drive too. So great to see that confidence continue to come through. We know the job he does defensively, and we know how competitive he is, but when he can chip in 11 points as well, that's a huge plus for our team.
One more for me. I think you matched a conference season high in assists with 19 on 24 made field goals. Just how good was the ball movement tonight for you guys?
Yeah, it was terrific. I think our guys really played for one another. I think the ball was on the move. I thought we got great shots. The times that we didn't, we put ourselves in challenging spots offensively. But I think our guys have the intent of wanting to make the play. Now we've got to have better mental focus to understand what's going on and to make the simple play over and over and not overcomplicate things, which we can sometimes do.
Coach, obviously, total 45 fouls from both teams combined. Obviously, you guys committed 20, but then you forced them into 25 fouls. What does it mean, just kind of the physicality, both sides of the ball, for what happened tonight?
Well, we want the game to be physical. We don't want to commit unnecessary fouls. I felt like there was a lot of times later in the clock that we bailed somebody out, hit a shooter on the arm. That's unacceptable. Plays defensively, we could have been more vertical at the rim and didn't maintain the discipline. And then even just like guarding the dribble, being square guarding the dribble, not getting stuck on someone's hip. So I think we fouled too much because we weren't as mentally focused in those areas as the game wore on. That's something we've got to continue to do a great job. But from the offensive side of things, we want to drive the ball to the paint. We want to play a physical brand of basketball, how we screen, how we cut, how we offensive rebound. So we've done a great job. In league play, that's been a huge plus for us. I believe we've made more free throws than our opponents have attempted. That's a really important stat, especially for our team.
And obviously a unique situation facing Colorado now 3 times. Those are kind of the positives and negatives kind of going into this matchup, knowing you've already faced this team twice.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a different challenge that's presented when you've played a team twice. Certainly you know a lot about each other. I think it's it's important that instead of worrying as much about the team you're playing or what the scoreboard says, that you have tremendous mental focus on the next possession. That getting a stop, executing offensively. And, again, I have a lot of respect for Coach Boyle. He's had tremendous success. He's a great coach. He's a great man, and he's done a great job over time. And so we know that they were going to have different things that they were going to throw at us in terms of switching defenses, man zone, switching, coverages. So we saw a lot more of that, and I think at times it kind of put us on our heels and, took us off balance. But, I think that's, we've just got to be more mentally focused to do what we need to do.
Regarding the ball movement, there was a possession about the 9-minute mark in the second half. Ball swung around, you look at an open three, J-Jeff gets the offensive rebound, puts it back. What were your thoughts watching that?
Yeah, no, that's a great possession because it was kind of like everybody had an opportunity, but we got the best opportunity. A great shooter, wide open with the rhythm three where the ball really moved, and now you're on the offensive glass on that weak side as well. And those are the type of possessions we need to have. I know we get consumed with the outcome of did the shot go in, and for us, we got to get great shots. Great shots are rhythm threes from our best shooters. Great shots are scoring at the rim like Joshua did at the end of that. So I think that possession is a possession that we need to hit repeat and have that a bunch more throughout the course of the game.
How do you evaluate Key's turnover numbers the last couple weeks?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to do a better job of being locked into, what's going on, how people are guarding him, what plays are there. At the same time, we've put our trust in him, and he's done a great job for our program overall over 2 years in terms of, getting to the rim, getting to the paint. So, it's easy to say when it goes well that it's good, and when it doesn't go as well that it's bad. What we need to do as coaches is continue to make sure that he understands in film what the reads are, and then when he understands those, make sure he's focused and locked in mentally so that he can play to his best, because we know what that looks like when he does and what a great player that he is. But I've got all the confidence in the world that he's going to refocus, he's going to lock in, and he's going to come out Saturday and play great.
Where do you feel like you guys are over the last 4 games, coming off the 3-game losing streak to where you are tonight, and I guess how much room is left between now and the end of the regular season?
Yeah, no, it's easy for people to look at analytics, what Ken Palm says, what something says in Las Vegas, what margin we won by last time you play a team, and then say, well, if you beat them by this much, it's good. If you don't beat them by that much, it's bad. And that's just not how this goes. We want to play our best every single possession, but when you're in league play and especially when you're on the back half of the conference, everybody's got different injuries, guys are hurt, there's challenges we're all dealing with. And ultimately what you have to do is get the mental focus and find a way to win the game. Like at the end of the day, that's what you're trying to do. And so I know that, you could say like, well, what is playing our best? What does that look like and what does that do? And on both sides of the basketball, offensively and defensively. And certainly I believe that's in front of us yet. I think the 4 games that we had, the job was to win each game on the night of the game, just like that will be the job again on Saturday. So in order to play your best, you have to have mental focus on one possession at a time. That's something that we still have some room for growth that we need to demonstrate we can do on both sides of the basketball, because I do think we have more offensive weapons, firepower than maybe what we have had in the past, but we've got to have more pride in getting stops and not allowing our offensive disappointment to impact our defense.
Speaking to Nate after the game, he obviously has gone through some struggles offensively this season, but he talked about being experienced enough to understand that it was going to turn the other way. After scoring 11 points tonight, it's the most he scored. How much is his mindset on that a value of his experience in college basketball, in your opinion?
Yeah, no, look, when Nate went in the portal, we recruited him. We felt confident what he could bring to the table. He's a guy that plays hard, tough, winner, competitor. He can make shots. He can make plays off the bounce. And so it's great to see him play to his ability level, because I feel like what we recruited him to do is how he played tonight. I'm glad his confidence is where it needs to be. He works really hard for it, and we're going to continue to lean into him playing well as we move forward. I don't think tonight was some great game for him. I think that's what he's capable of, and that's what, he needs to keep his focus on continuing to do that, and I'm confident that that's where his mind will be.
Not that you have to talk to him less as he's going through those struggles because he's experienced, but do you maybe have to alter your message compared to a freshman who's not seeing shots go in and gets down on themselves because they just don't understand that you can't control if the shot goes in. You just have to keep trusting yourself to make open shots?
Yeah, I think the main thing is your individual confidence is something that you work for and you fight for. And then, as you said, as you have that experience, you have to call upon that experience. Sometimes with a freshman, they're not quite as in tune to what's all going on and how to fix it. But Nate has been in this spot. He's had great games for us already, but he's played against great teams in his previous program and done really well. So it's great that he's able to, as much as coaches, you want to give guys solutions and help them through things. The best thing they can do is help themselves. And I think that's what Nate's saying is, hey, look, everybody can coach me, tell me this, say that. I've done this before. I know what I need to do. Now I need to go out and do it.
Hey, TJ, on a night where Curtis doesn't have his usual scoring numbers, what do you have to say about Nate and Brand's contributions off the bench today?
Yeah, really, really proud of those guys. I mean, Brandt's continued to be really consistent for us. I think in this 4-game stretch, he's been terrific. He's been all over the offensive glass. He's screened effectively. He's playing, with a great mindset. He's playing like it's light. Like mentally, he's in a good spot confidence-wise. So happy with how he's played. Certainly, Nate had a great, again, we talked about a good performance that we expect from him. So those two guys, when you go to the bench and you have Kurt Jones and then those guys are playing with confidence as well, there's really no drop-off. And sometimes you feel like you can go to the bench and get better. And so that's when you play 8 guys in the rotation the way we do, the standard is that all 8 of those guys are going to be ready to go and step up when their number's called. And great to see those two doing it.
Building on that, TJ, how much at this point in the season do you like seeing a night like this where 5 different guys are in double figures?
Yeah, I think when our team has played well, that's been a consistent theme, is a lot of guys have contributed. We're not as much, haven't had as many of those games where one guy has gaudy numbers and then a bunch of guys are at, under 10. So to see that balance is great. It's whatever the right play is and whatever the right opportunity is. We recognize that, whether it's trying to keep Key out of the paint or trying to take Kurt off the 3, or other teams are going to do things to try to take away some of our players' greatest strengths. And when they do that and other guys step up, it makes it that much harder. So that's what we need to continue to work on, is getting everybody going at the same time.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.